All right, so welcome to this session of the training. In this session of the training, we're going to be all about building bar charts. So we're going to understand what we need to do to get bar charts. Bar charts are the very, very easy, visualizations that you can build in Excel. All it requires is for you to get a list of identities and attach them to numbers and then give them headers. For example, these are products and these are the sales values that come from them. These sales values are just there as an example so you can understand, because in real life it may not be as small as this, or it may not be as as exact as these ones, but it does the job anyway. So we're going to use this to do that. So if you have your data like this, all you need to do is select it, and when you select it, you click on what you want. So depending on how your interface is, sometimes you might see this recommended chart icon here in the chat group. You could click on this to see what kind of charts can be used to visualize these numbers that you have here. So here it has chosen a bar chart, and it has chosen a pie chart. It has chosen a horizontal bar chart here, and it has also chosen yet another one here. So clicking on any one, like the funnel chart or the horizontal bar chart or cluster bar chart, and then this other one, any of them, and you select OK, will just give you the chart that you want. But yet again, if we do not have this readily accessible in our group, if you select it and you already know that it's a bar chart that you want to use, you could easily come here and then pick what kind of bar chart that you need. So it could be any of these because of the nature of numbers that we have. This is most appropriate. That's the cluster column chart. And these are 3D charts. Not always advisable to use this from a professional point of view, but you could use it depending on the audience that you want to share your chart with. So we have the 2Ds. The 2Ds are common and mostly used. So you have the cluster bar chart here, and then you have other types of charts here. Okay, just like this one. However, let's go with the first one, the 2D column chart, and there we are. We have it right here springing before us. For many individuals, this is they tend to stop here and they're wondering what next to do and all of that. One thing that helps you be able to build customized charts that meet your desired needs is to understand all the different parts of the chart. And Excel does not leave us in the forest about that. Rather, it guides us on the different parts of the chart. So it talks about chart elements. So what are chart elements, and how can you manipulate them? So that's exactly what we want to do with bar charts. So you come here and you see it says add elements. Yes, this icon helps us to add elements, but it also tells us what elements are in a chart that we can manipulate. All right. So here we have the axis. So if you look at it carefully, you'll see that with the axis, you can actually have the numbers that associates in the horizontal axis or the x axis, and then you can have those that pertains to the y-axis or the vertical axis. So whichever one you click, like you see, I go to this and it goes out. I go to this and the other one goes out. So these are axes. So when we talk about axis titles, you could have this. So you can see where that is shown there. And then you could also have this other one here. You see, each of them, you can click on them and then give your axis an appropriate title. So that axis title is just one of the elements you see in the chart. Then you have the chart title. So currently now we have sales showing up there. So what this is saying is that we could have none, we could have it above, we could have it at the center overlay, and you could have more options to put in your chart title. Then we have the labels. So ranging from none, we could have center. So the fonts are black now, so we can't see them very well, but we're going to touch it later on. So we could have this, which is inside end. So it's somewhere at the top there. If you look at it very well, it's somewhere at the top. Then you have the inside base, that is somewhere below here. And then you have the outside. So you can see this now. You can see all the numbers coming out outside and on top. Then we have that of the call outs, So these are different elements, and this helps us to, customize our charts to whatever we need. Then we have the data table. What the data table does is that within the chart, it brings in the values, in a table as if it were. So you can see it as a table. You can also see it as a bar chart, okay? And there we are. You could have different ways in which you can show it. So here you don't have legend. So the table acts as a legend, and it also acts as a table, different from what you have uh, in this case. Okay, so that's another element that we can. We also have grid lines, so right now you're seeing grid lines on it. So here, if you come here, you can see the horizontal grid lines are brought also into it. And then you have this just showing your horizontal grid lines, and then you have the minor ones that takes that out and bring it about this. So you can look at the diagrams here and know which one you just want to pick and use. Okay, then we have legends. So like the bar chart we are looking at now doesn't have more than one series, it's just a one series. And so we appropriately cannot show legends very well. So you can see just sales is showing. Sales is showing as a blue there. You can see it there. So we can take it to different parts of the chart. You get it. But when you have more than one series, you'll be able to see how it separates them using colors. Okay. And then we have trend lines, we have trend lines, we have lines, we have trend lines. These are grayed out because they don't apply to the bar charts that we have here. So we have trend lines here where we can have the linear, the exponential, the linear forecast, the moving average, and all of that. Okay, so you could have charts that help you. You can incorporate it into your charts to provide a meaning to the numbers that are visualized. Now, that helps us to see all the different things, that elements that we can have in the chart. Okay, now let's go back to what we have before. Sometimes if you do not want to, customize your chart using the add element icon, you could use the quick layout. The quick layout is helping us to just create a chart that would put the elements in the way in which we want. So if any of these suits your need, you can see like this one, if it suits your need, you can easily pick it and click on it and start using it. So we have a number of them here. You can see everything here. So you can see that is pointing to the last in the series, and so on. So we have this, we have this. So each of them is a collection, is a configuration as if it were of the different elements and how you might want to see it. So these are this another one, this another one, and this and this. So quickly you can pick a layout that suits your requirement or your visualization, and then you could just go with it. Then we have colors. Here we have colors, but we have one series here. So otherwise you could actually click on different colors, and then it gives you whatever you want, just like that. It could give it to you like that. Now we have quick layouts, we have colors, and we have chart styles. So the chart styles is just another way by which we can pick any chart style that suits our needs. So you have different ones here. See them? So you can easily choose which you want and you can just click on it and then on the go, you're ready. You can also customize them to be whatever you want. Okay, now since we've gone through the elements of a chart, we can ask ourselves, what can we do to customize this chart to what we want? First, I want to take out this one because almost often we want persons who are looking at our charts to quickly pick information from our charts and leave. So it's best for us to have the data labels here and then take out um, the y-axis here and the values there are. So I'm going to come here, come to this place, and I'm just going to put it at the outside end so that you can see what it is here. I'm going to make it bold so that you can see what it is right here. Now, I might not be interested in these grid lines again. That's this horizontal grid lines because I do not have those values here. So I'm going in here to the grid lines and just taking it out. So it becomes plain like this. I can select these axes here and then make them bold. Same here, make it bold. So you could just make them bold by simply going to your home and then you can also click on it, make bold here and here. You can click on this and unclick and then it becomes bold like this. You could also think of applying colors to the background. So once you select your chart like this, you could apply colors to the background, like this. You could have colors that depicts one or two things to the background. And then you could have just. So let's try to do that and see what I'm telling you about. Okay. Assuming I have a product, that's a product E, let's call it a product F, and I'm going to have this to be 165 here. And so I'm going to click on this. Now you can see that it's not picking the F here. So one easy thing I can do is just come here and drag down like this so that it includes it and you have it in here. Another thing I could do is to go to my chart design, select data, and so you can see that it's not selecting up to what we want. So it's coming to B7, so I can come here and make this B7. So if I stay OK like this, so you can see that it has included product F inside it. So in this way, you can be able to add to your chart range, reduce your chart range, or do whatever you want to do with your chart range. Now, this is not just the only way that we use bar charts like you can have here. We can also use bar charts can also be horizontal charts. You get it? So one way we can do that is possibly take this so we can duplicate it. So I'm going to select it and just, you can copy paste or you can just press your Control D. Control D, sorry, yeah. Control D produces another copy of it here. And so at this point, I can choose to say I want to change my chart type. So I'm going to click on this and then find an appropriate chart type that I can pick here. I can actually pick many types, like maybe want it to be a line chart, want it to be a pie chart, want it to be a horizontal bar chart. At this point, let us go with this horizontal bar chart and learn some more things about it. Now here, I have this same chart laid out as a horizontal bar chart. Now notice that nothing tells us that one comes after the other except with the product A, B, C, D. And so what this simply means is that these are only identifying products and not telling us when each of the products came about. So bar charts are best for comparing categories. Like we would see later, the line chart is best for time series. So data that is associated with time, it's best we use a line chart to do that. But if the data is all about comparing categories, we can actually use a bar chart to do this. And because we can use a bar chart to do this, we can actually use a bar chart to compare between one product and the other, which is doing best and which is not doing that best. What's the contribution from one product and what's the contribution from another? Now, not just product, it could be branches, business branches. It could be comparison of similar things, just whatever you want to compare can come up in bar charts like this. One thing that makes a bar chart good for the function it does, it's actually to sort your data. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to come in here, and this is just a table. So I have this table here, and so I can choose to, sort it. I'm going to get a custom sort here, and let us see how this will be. I'm going to sort not by products, but by sales. And here with sales, I want to have the smallest to the largest. I'm just going to say OK. So you can see smallest to the largest shows up, and it also shows up in this one. So you could use anyone to actually show quickly which product is contributing the least and which product is contributing the most when you sort it that way. You can also sort it the other way around, by coming here, custom sort, and then we do largest to smallest, and here is it. So we can actually have the largest down to the smallest because we are comparing things about it. So in this way, bar charts helps you to, at a glimpse, get the message that you want to point out to people when you use bar charts to build concepts like this. Now, I know you may have been looking at, well, these things that come up when you select the chart. Well, if you click on it, you'll find that it looks at all the chart elements that we have looked at previously. And it selects those that we have used. We've used the chart title, we've used the data label, and we've done some axis. So this is the uh, y-axis here, which we have used here. So in each of them, you can actually click the arrow button to decide which you want to use. Clicking the arrow button, it selects which. So we are using the outside end here, and that is what it is showing. We could use any other, but we just feel it's more appropriate for us to use this one to show it. So that's what these chart elements give you. This gives you opportunity to format your chart in whichever way you want. So we can choose any of these. You see, you have a lot to choose from here. And you can also choose colors. So what are we seeing? That much of what we see here are actually in the chart design here. The add elements and the chart styles and the colors are also what you have here. You can also go down to do filtering. So for example, currently now, all of them is taken. So see, I'm looking at C here. I'm looking at F here. It highlights each of them and what they're doing. But if I select and then say, I just want to see this three, and I say, okay, apply it, it's going to show me just those three. So in this way, you can use filters to point exactly at what you want to see in a bar chart. So that's how bar chart works, and that's how we use them within Microsoft Excel. And these are the tools by which we can modify them. When you click on a chart and you click on the design, You can also choose to move that chart from this particular sheet to just any other sheet or a sheet of its own. Like clicking on this, it says new sheet. So you could take it to a chart sheet like we're doing now and here. So it's alone here. And if you look at the name of this, it's chart one. And so it's a chart on its own. And you can do just anything you want to do with it here. I'm going to move it back and assume that I want to move it as an object in another sheet. So in another sheet, I select the sheet I want. I want the bar chart sheet. I click OK, and we're back here again. I can resize it and put it just anywhere I want to. Now, some might think that when I talk about the layout of your data, it should always be like this. The answer is no. I'm going to copy this and I'm going to come here and I'm just going to, transpose it so it looks just like this. So this is a horizontal table, while this is a vertical table. If you remember when we treated horizontal and vertical tables, this is exactly what we're talking about. So your data can also be in a horizontal table like this, and you can still do the same thing. So selecting it this way, you can still go insert, insert and get exactly what we've been doing before now. So you can still get it just this way. Let me put it this way. And then you can now customize it to um, whatever you want. So the layout is just that you should have, items, and you should have values associated with these items. So with this, you can actually plot your bar chart in whichever ways you want. So that's how bar charts work. And that's how you can use it to visualize data in ways that you have chosen to use it for. In the next video, we'll be looking at another tool or another way by which we can, chart data. Thank you very much.